Sandro Tonali on signing for Tottenham and talking to another team. Roberto De Zerbi on Cristian Romero. Marcus Senesi has started life as a Spurs player, and Malachi Hardy is thankful for being handed the opportunity to impress. This is the Daily Tottenham News. Hi everybody, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel and to another edition of the Daily Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. My name's Leader Dorset Spur, and if you're watching on YouTube, please do like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, so let's get into it. Sandro Tonali on signing for Tottenham and talking to another team. When you speak with a team, the first impression is a big thing, and my impression was very positive. When you are happy after a 10-minute chat, it's everything. Everything is perfect. I spoke with my wife. This was the first thing. We wanted to change our life, but not just for the city. We wanted to change everything. We spoke with two clubs. We had to decide to come back to Italy, but it was impossible for the money. England was our solution, and we found the best solution in England for me, for my career, for my football, for my happiness, for my family. I spoke with two teams. I understood after 10-15 minutes that Tottenham would be my next team. Roberto De Zerbi on Cristian Romero. At the beginning of my time in April, I had, 1 million individual meetings. The players told me what was their idea. I said, yes, help me to stay up, and then I help you to leave. If you don't want help me to stay up, you stay underwater with me. But Romero with me was unbelievable. Top in his behaviour, his respect. He suffered when he did not play the last game. It is not true that he wanted to leave for Argentina to prepare for the World Cup. It's not true. After the semi-final against England, we texted a message, but I never called him to convince him to stay. I respected what he told me, like for Vicario, like for every player. Romero, as a player, is one of the best centre-backs in the world. But at the end, I said, I want to respect the will of the players. Roberto De Zerbi on Tottenham's transfer window. The transfer market is not finished for sure, but we completed 60% of our project in the transfer market. Now we have another Bomba. I hope, but it's not finished for sure. Roberto De Zerbi on Williams-Barnett. I was a number 10 as a player, so you can imagine how I can like him as a player. I think now we have a bigger responsibility with him to improve, to help him to become stronger physically, and to help him the right space to bring him to become the player that people imagine. We have to manage him like a precious diamond. We have to help him to improve in the last decision. Physically, work hard to become stronger, because this time of football, he needs to be strong, and to give him space when there is the right moment. I usually give time to all the young players I work with in my career, and he is a potential special player. Marcus Senesi has started life as a Spurs player and was joined by new teammates Rodrigo Bentancur and Pape Matar Sarr after the 2026 World Cup exploits. The Argentina international received a late call-up for his nation for the major tournament and featured twice in the United States, Canada and Mexico, including a substitute appearance in the final as he lost out 1-0 to Pedro Porro of Spain in extra time. Becoming our second signing of the summer on the 10th of June, following the expiration of his contract with AFC Bournemouth, Marcos did not travel on pre-season tour given his participation to the very end of the World Cup, and was at Hotspur Way for the very first time on Thursday to start testing. Our new number 5 had company in the form of Rodrigo and Pepe, who represented Uruguay and Senegal respectively during the finals. as the two midfielders were on hand to welcome our new recruit to the club and start their pre-season, having been granted extended leave following their World Cup appearances. Malachi Hardy is thankful for being handed the opportunity to impress so far in pre-season, and the young defender is determined to make the most of it. He said, "It's going really well. I'm thankful to the manager. He's shown a lot of trust in me. And a lot of the boys are getting behind me and supporting me as well. I feel like when I came on and when I start, I know that I can just be comfortable doing what I usually do. So yeah, it's been really good. I think looking forward, especially for the younger ones, looking up to us as well, they know that there is a pathway, there's opportunities for all of us. Quite a lot of us are featured and the game before, so it's promising for the future. We know that we can be around it, and I think we've all settled in quite well, so it's all good." So following the training session ahead of the Chelsea game on Saturday, Alistair Gold spoke with Roberto De Zerbi and asked him about the Bomba comment that he'd already made. So he said, "Spurs fans are very excited about you talking about a transfer Bomba. Are you able to provide more details?" So he said, "Yes, but Bomba in Italian is different from Bomba in English. You can write what you want, no problem, no pressure. But I said, we have to complete the transfer market. I think we have some players to complete the squad, and the players will be here in the next days are, for me, top players. I don't know if the expectations are bigger than 2 days ago, but we have to go forward and to think to the good of the team, of the club, of the squad. But in Italian, it's a different word." So what's the Italian definition in Italian? And he said, "I think Tonali, Fernandes, Senesi, Robertson are Bomba. For me, top players for us. You said 60% of the window done, as you signed 6 players already. Does that mean we should expect 4 more? I think 2, maybe 3. We have to see. Do the club record signings add additional pressure for the upcoming season?" "Zero pressure. You know why? Because one day the taxi man in London stopped me to congratulate me on the transfer market. He said, 'Hey, you are spending a lot of money.' I said, 'But who are you a fan of? Arsenal? You have spent the money for a long time in the last 3 or 4 years. I think Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, to stay at the top of the table, they have spent money. If you want to compete now for the top of the Premier League and to put Tottenham in the highest level, I think we need to bring top players like we are doing." What do you think Conor Gallagher can develop in his best position? I consider Conor a top player, a top guy, because sometimes you don't know the people, but inside the dressing room, I think it's more important to be a good guy, a right person, than a good player. And he's both a good player and a good guy. Maybe in the last third of the pitch, he has more quality than he thinks, or maybe than he's showing now. He could score more goals, but when Conor is good, in a good condition, I said last season, and I repeat, we play with 1 player more because he's like 2 players. So, some thoughts on these stories. Well, the only one really that you can really get into it was this clarification of the word Bomba, which set the Spurs fans into a tizzy yesterday. We were all running around trying to work out who could it be, who's coming next. Is it this one? Is it that one? Is it the other? And I think from De Zerbi's point of view, he's just talking about the additional players that he's bringing in. A Bomba might mean something massive to some fans. Some certain players may qualify as a Bomba. I've seen that in different WhatsApp groups that I've been involved with, and some others are not necessarily a Bomba. But from De Zerbi's point of view, every new player you bring in is a big player, a player he wants, and a player that's going to improve the squad. So for him, a Bomba is the additional players, and he's talking about another 2 or 3 to come in, and we'll see where that takes us. So it'll be interesting how that works out. We've already got 6, and as Alistair Gold asked, does that mean another 4? Well, 2 or 3, but I mean another 2 players from a Tottenham fan point of view would be fantastic. Definitely need a left winger. We definitely need a striker. So unless he's got some kind of magic spell that he can cast over Richarlison and Solanke, then I am still worried about that position. So for me, we definitely need that. Right wing, Kudos, is he back? Kulusevski, is he back? You know, that gives us cover over there. But without those two, who's really going to be in there? So, yeah, I still think there's probably, you know, another 3 positions we could really need, but 2 is an absolute must for sure. So let's see how it pans out. I'm sure we'll get there in the end. It seems like De Zerbi is piling on the pressure for the club and for the owners, and so I think we're not finished yet. So that'll be great to see, won't it, going into this new season, give us a load more confidence. And if we can get them in before the end of this bloody transfer window, so that these guys can bed in, get used to the training, get used to their teammates and so on, so much the better. No one wants that last deal on deadline day, although it's always exciting on the last day, you know, something really cool happens. But for me, I'd much rather let's just have the players and let's crack on with it. Anyway, listen, thanks for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'm leader Dorset Spur. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, up the Spurs.